Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome into your Advanced Performance Management class. I hope you all have a wonderful day. This is Matlub Ilahi, your Advanced Performance Management course leader. So first of all, I would thank you for choosing our Advanced Performance Management course at Hamzah Academy. So my introduction, I am teaching ACCA courses for last more than 14 years, 15 years almost. My core areas are advanced performance management, SPL, and performance management. So I teach these three subjects. If I tell you that how close or how important this paper, advanced performance management, is for me, I not only I teach, but I also live this paper, and I can live my whole life as well. How much passion, how much love I have for this paper, that I am working in sustainable finance. So where I help companies, organizations in how they can improve their sustainable performance. So I have taken this paper, this subject, to live and make an impact. Okay, so this is a little bit introduction. I also have been teaching in Mauritius from 2013 to 2019. You might have heard from your colleagues or your friends about me. Now, next, I would congratulate you all for choosing this advanced performance management paper. Why congratulations? There is a reason. I will explain it to you in our next slides. The reason how you have made the good decision for choosing advanced performance management. We will explore this later. But before we move on, I would request you all to little bit introduce yourself, like your name and you have selected advanced performance management and what type of stories you have heard about this paper. So I would request Keshini. Hi, Keshini.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
So my name is Keshini Devya, and I wanted to do APM because PM I found it very easy, and it helped me to understand better about the performance of the business and a lot better. So this is why I wanted to do APM.
Perfect. Thank you. And what type of stories you have heard about this paper, Advanced Performance Management?
So I heard that APM is quite difficult to do. It has a lot of technical terms, and we need to better understand it in order to be excellent in this.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Thank you, Keshini. I would request Manisha. Hi, Manisha. Okay, I think there would be some issue. And next, Aman. Hi, Aman.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
I'm Aman from Mauritius, and I have chosen performance management because not just because it's a subject, but the name performance management, it means many things for companies. But everybody's talking about the measurement of performance, how we are going to increase performance, how are we to measure performance. So I went through the syllabus, and I think that this subject is very good. And also career wise, maybe I'm going to learn many and apply also in my job, and maybe become more competitive in the job market.
Yes, exactly. Correct. You are right. Absolutely right. No problem, Manisha. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So, Aman, thank you very much for sharing your passion for this paper and the reason why you have selected. Definitely this paper will help you better understand about the challenges, about the issues, how different factors affect performance of the organizations, and how organizations can respond to those challenges better. So I appreciate your passion. Thank you. Next, I would request Shalina. Hi, Shalina.
Oh, hello, sir. Hi, everyone. My name is Shalina. So I decided to go ahead with this paper since performance management was my favorite subject in level 2 among all the papers. And what I heard about this paper is I got mixed reactions, and I believe it's all about personal choices. Some would like to go for others because it's more about calculations. Others will prefer other papers because it's more theoretical, but I think it highly depends whether the paper is easy or difficult is all about our personal choice. Thank you.
Exactly. Correct. Difficult or easy is all about your own experience. You are absolutely correct. Perfect. Thank you, Shalina. Thank you. I would request Yash. Hi, Yash.
Hi, sir. Hello,
Hello.
everyone. So, yes, for this paper, I think it is closely related to what I am doing actually in my job. And I believe with all the topics that there is, like you have your business integration, you have the business of re-engineering, all these are interesting subjects that I think it can help to make a big progress for me in my job and for my company as well.
True. Absolutely true. Because you will have the opportunity to learn about business process re-engineering. And you know that because you are already having that kind of job. So, every business, whether that's a small or that is a big or a medium-sized businesses, whether that is a public or whether that's a private, whether that's a manufacturing or whether that is a service business, whatever the business or the organization is going through business process innovations, business process re-engineering. So you have well said that every organization and need for this type of paper is even more than ever. You know better about this, that because in the last 10-20 years we have seen the rise of technology, and a new era for performance management has started. If I tell you, in the last couple of years, new era of performance management, we will definitely explore in our next slides about this topic as well. So I really appreciate it. Thank you very much, Yash. Okay, and next I would request Motik. Hi, Motik. I hope I'm pronouncing right. Motik, can you hear me? I guess there's some issue. So, Dia. Hi, Dia. I would request Yashika. Hello, Yashika.
Hello, sir. Hello, everyone. Yashika, I'm from Luxembourg. For APM, actually, I've done that a few times. I've attempted APM a few times, and I always miss like a few points to pass it. But I love APM, that's why I haven't lost hope, and I'm still continuing and hoping that I'll pass it this time.
Perfect. All right. So I appreciate your passion for advanced performance management. So we will definitely do our best to help you pass this paper. So thank you very much, everyone. Thank you, Motik. No problem. Thanks a lot. I appreciate all of you for your introduction. And now we are moving on, little bit awareness, little bit understanding about the 21st century and how the advanced performance management topic and the overall this subject is changing. Okay, so let's have a little bit discussion about this. We are in 2024. And as I mentioned, if we look from the 2000 and to 2024, we have done a lot. We have seen a massive shift in the global economy. We have seen a massive shift in the business, like overall business model innovation. For example, if we look at 10, 20 years back, organizations and the way of operating businesses, that was different. We are in 2024. We are now talking about AI. We are talking about chips. We are talking about processors. We are talking about EVs. We are talking about renewable energy. We are talking about smart technologies. We are talking about cloud computing. We are talking about Internet of Things. We are talking about automation, and a lot is happening right now in the global business landscape. So as I mentioned, that performance management, basically, let me give you this little bit synopsis, that performance management is entering in completely a new era. How new era? In how new era? And how this paper and the studying this paper will help you advance your career as well. First, let's talk about the challenges that the organizations are facing today. Challenges, or I would say macroeconomic challenges that modern organizations are facing today. First of all, let's talk about the US and China trade disputes and trade relations. We all know that how the situation is developing between US and China. And it is affecting the whole world economy. We have seen in the last 20 years abundance of things, lots of choices, lots of things we have seen around. And this was mostly because of the cheap made in China products, as China called as factory of the world. It is simply said that there is no home around the globe that does not have a single item or single product from made in China. So imagine the Chinese impact, or China impact has been massive around the globe. And this has affected the finance and accounting as well. Yes, we have been talking about, for example, you might have heard the famous terms that have developed over the last 20, 30 years. For example, offshoring. You know better because in Mauritius, you have seen the things outsourcing we have been talking about. Okay, but now we are listening about onshoring. We are talking about now different business models in 2023 and 2024. Second thing that I want to talk about, the impact on the performance management of every business around the globe, is the tech advancements. Tech advancements. If you look at your car now, if you purchase a new car, or if you are purchasing a new electronics, even you are purchasing a new pillow, for example, or you are purchasing a new piece of bed for your bedroom, or you are purchasing a new kitchen appliances. We all know that how the gadgets are becoming more and more smart, okay? And now these are connected with our Wi-Fi, with our phones. We can lock our doors, we can change the curtains. We can control our all electronics and appliances within our home. We are living in the era of smart homes. Okay, so this is also happening because of Internet of Things. And when we explore this topic further, that is called industrial Internet of Things, means taking the same concept of Internet of Things or connected devices on the more broader scale. So we can see in the factories, for example, or even interestingly, in the farming business, if you know, like we can control a lot of farm gadgets and farm equipment with the help of our phones. Not only this, but we are living in the era of smart farming. Smart farming means where there are lots of sensors are installed that are giving us up-to-date data on soil quality, on pest attacks, on water management, on chemicals, fertilizers management, pesticides management, the quality of the yield, the quality of the crop. So the things are changing very, very fast. And this is the era of changing competitive advantage as well. That is the interesting term that I am sharing with you, that new era of competitive advantage. What is this new era of competitive advantage? If you look at top companies today, or if I tell you that today's Fortune 500 companies, if you look at the Fortune 500 list companies, these are the largest companies in the world, 500. And if you look at the top 10 or top 50, you would be amazed that in the top 50, there are many companies that were not part of the list 10 years back. For example, we talk about Meta, like Facebook, or we talk about Amazon, or we talk about Apple, Microsoft, and like Tesla, for example. These are the new entrants. Or we talk about Tencent. Tencent is a Chinese big company that is behind the ByteDance and TikTok and these type of apps. So we are living in era of social media. We are living in era of where we are connected world. So things are changing. So the competitive advantage or competitive landscape is also changing. Interestingly, you know that Tesla value is more than the combined value of all combined value of all German car makers. Would you believe that Volkswagen, BMW, Mercedes, all the sum and plus Audi, because Audi is a part of Volkswagen group. If you combine the total value of all these companies, Tesla has the bigger value. What is the reason? What is the reason that Tesla got bigger value? Just Tesla has not older than 15 years of life. And imagine the Volkswagen has more than 100 years of life. You talk about Ford, you talk about GM, General Motors, you talk about Chrysler, you talk about Toyota, Honda. Imagine all these companies are the big giants, but Tesla got bigger than all these. What Tesla is making? Tesla has just built a few factories now. What is the reason? Because Tesla called itself that don't call us a car company, we are a software. We are a software. And if you have got opportunity to drive Tesla, you know better that it is just a combination of hardware and software. The reason why Tesla got big value, because the reason is that Tesla is the car of the future. Car of the future. So these are the interesting, just I'm sharing one idea with you, that how the competitive landscape is changing. So if you look at the modern businesses, they are competing now for global audience. They are competing for the global scale. For example, is one more example I can share with you that how the competitive landscape is changing. Imagine that now the media industry is struggling just because of one traditional media. Imagine the world's biggest newspapers, they are struggling to operate. They are struggling to remain afloat. They are struggling to keep themselves survived. On the other side, we can see there is TikTok, for example. We can see there is like Insta, for example. We can see there is YouTube, for example. So imagine that how things are changing. On the one more example I can share with you. For example, today we are living in the era of Netflix. So how Netflix has transformed the way people watch videos. So entertainment industry, for example, how entertainment industry is changing. One more example, do you think of Spotify, for example, how Spotify has revolutionized the app music industry. Similarly, Apple Music or Amazon Music, or so these are the points where you need to know that how the performance management is evolving, because the competitive landscape is changing, and now the winners and losers are also changing. It does not matter if a business has 100 factories or 200 factories, but now people ask more question: is it sustainable? Is it sustainable? Is it scalable? Okay, so things are changing very fast. Next point we can talk about, this is sustainability. Imagine in the last couple of years how the sustainability landscape has evolved. Now everyone is talking about emissions, everyone is talking about footprints, everyone is talking about impact, everyone is talking about planet, everyone is talking about, hey, we are going to cut our emissions in the next 5 years. We are going to be net positive. We are going to be net zero. So you might have heard these type of terms now: net zero, net positive. So what are these? You look at the sustainability reports of big companies, whether that's a Unilever or whether that's a Coca-Cola or whether that's Nestle, Starbucks, or you talk about even fashion companies. You talk about Zara, you talk about H&M, you talk about Gap. They are now working on these lines. So sustainability has become their mainstream now. Mainstream means that now this is part of the strategy of every business. This is now core part of strategy. Whether a brand is going to grow, whether a brand is going to launch new products, or whether they are going to, I give the same example, that whether it's a business process re-engineering, or whether that is a process innovation, or whether that is product development, or whether that is market growth, whatever the strategy is, now the sustainability is at the center, sustainability is at the heart. The reason is very simple. Now the law is changing. For example, you might have heard about the carbon tax. So now companies are required to have cut their emissions. So if a company exceed its emission quota or emission target, then it has to pay a tax that's called carbon tax. So this is just financial cost. This is a financial cost not only, but it has some other implications as well. For example, if a company is a highly polluting company, do you think the investors will be investing in that? No. Investors are looking for more planet-friendly and environmental-friendly companies. Okay. Number two, it may lose its customers, because customers are now also looking for, and you know about whether that is a B2B customer or whether that is a B2C customer. B2B mean, for example, if your customer is Walmart, imagine Walmart is world largest retailer, or your customer, for example, in Mauritius, I would say like Intermart, for example. Your customer is Intermart or Jumbo, for example. So if they are purchasing from a cereal company, let's say, okay, cereal company that sells, or it is purchasing some juices from a South African company that has farm and juices. So Jumbo can ask its juice brand suppliers that, hey, how much emissions you have of your this juice per juice unit or per liter of juice of apple or mango, how much emissions you have. So the point is that now we are in living an era of supply chain emissions calculations. Okay, supply chain emission. Every company, whether that is a Levi's or whether that is Adidas or whether that is Nike, they are asking their suppliers to be more sustainable, to be more nature friendly. Otherwise, it will be difficult for us to continue purchasing from you. So that's why that the companies are now measuring. There are more measures. That is an interesting point. You know, what gets measured gets done. What gets measured gets done. This is a famous quote, and my dear, this is interestingly part of advanced performance management syllabus as well. This is part of, imagine how interesting is this paper. This, what gets measured gets done, is part of APM syllabus. Okay, more measures, more visibility. The more we measure, the more we visibility. You will see in the environmental management accounting topics, environmental management accounting, where we look at accounting in a different way. Looking at accounting differently. What is this differently? Previously, accounting statements, I'm talking about internal accounting. Internal accounting means traditional management accounting, traditional management accounts. In traditional management accounts, normally managers were just looking at their cost, how much overheads, how much material cost, how much labor cost, how much admin overheads, how much selling overheads. But now things have changed. Now managers are looking at, hey, how, if we are making this pen, how much are the emissions? Not just emission, they are asking for how much water, how much chemicals, how much plastic, how much waste, how much energy this pen has generated. And the reason, you would be amazed. Now, law regulations are changing so fast that in European Union, if you are a textile, because I have been working in the textile industry sustainability projects. So now in European Union, in France, this year, in 2024, France has introduced more, in Netherlands, France, and I think Portugal, they have introduced more law where they will be asking companies to have more transparency and traceability of their environmental footprints. Environmental footprints. So means if you are in Bangladesh or in Mauritius, your textile mill is based in Mauritius and you are exporting to European Union, okay, you will have the whole traceability of your supply chain and value chain. Okay, now imagine your textile factory is in Mauritius and your customers are in France, and France law now requires any textile unit, for example, I'm saying, so for example, any textile item that is sold in France should have the whole traceability. Means, you know, the tags inside the garments, for example, when we purchase a shirt or trouser, there are tags and details of the product components inside the shirt. Now the companies will be required to also report on how much water this t-shirt has consumed, how much emissions this t-shirt had, how much chemicals this t-shirt has consumed, or even now with the help of the codes or with the help of the, what they are called, with the QR codes, okay? QR codes, you will be able to trace more things. QR codes. Yes. Celio, for example, has already introduced this type of traceability. If you go on the Celio website and you click on any, even H&M has also introduced this system. And if you click on certain products, that will tell you the whole story. For example, where the cotton was grown, where the cotton was transferred into what's called the whole processes of textile, okay, where it's called like ginning, it's called manufacturing, processing, finishing, dyeing, every process detail you can find over there. This is a new era of performance management. I hope you are understanding. So imagine now companies are required to invest. Companies are required, businesses are required to invest. Where invest? Invest in new technologies. Because existing processes, as I again mentioned, I think Yash was saying that now companies are reinventing business process, re-engineering is happening. They are new technologies, they are rolling out new processes, they are introducing new enterprise resource planning systems. Why? Because if a business does not have system, it may not be able to capture. So you need information systems. You need information systems to capture and report data. And this is a new phenomenon. This is a new era. Previously, we have never seen, if we go back a couple of years back, 10 years back, there was no much focus. But now you would be amazed that increasing number of software companies and the even the main players in the software industry, for example, IBM, or you talk about Microsoft, for example, they are introducing, or you talk about SAP or Oracle, these are the mainstream, but there are lots of smaller players. They are introducing their softwares, their information systems, even the rating companies, for example, you talk about Standard & Poor, for example, or Moody's, for example, they are introducing the new environmental management systems and reporting system. The reason is very simple. The industry is changing very fast. So the story is not ending here. Story is not ending here. Even you can link it with now reporting and auditing as well. So auditing industry is also going through massive changes because performance management and audit, now we can relate with each other. What is performance management? Performance management, a company claim that, hey, we have this level of emissions. We have this level of emission. We have cut, for example, let's say Nestle claimed that we have reduced our emissions by 100 tons last year. So when it will go through this statement of the Nestle, when it will go through the audit process, now the auditors has to confirm how this 100 tons of the carbon, 100 tons of carbon or 100 tons of waste that it is claiming, okay, we have to audit, we have to give assurance on this. So auditors need new skills now. You might have seen if you are working in the E&Y or PwC or Deloitte, so you might have already gone through these type of skills. And if you have not, but definitely your companies, your like employers will require you to learn these skills. So these are, I have discussed just few areas that are affecting performance management. That's why I told you that we are entering a new era of performance management. But this list is not finished. There are so many other factors. that are impacting the performance management of the organization. For example, I have given you here example, like supply chain issues, for example. We have seen in the COVID how critical was the supply chain, global supply chain, when everything was shut down. So what happened? There was scarcity, there was shortage. Okay, so the problems were there. Then recession. Yes, global recession and inflation now both are interconnected with each other. In some economies, the economies are slowing. For example, China. In Chinese economy, imagine if Chinese economies slow, what would happen? What would happen? Guess. If China slow down, so many countries and their economies depends upon Chinese manufacturing. Can you believe? If I start giving you details, for example, Southeast Asian economies like Korea, Taiwan, Thailand, or you talk about Malaysia, or you talk about Vietnam, for example. Let me come to the Africa. In so many African economies that export to China, and China is their largest export commodities, okay? Commodities, and their economies are operating on the basis of their export to China. And if Chinese economy is slowing down, you imagine their export will fall, and export fall mean their GDP will shrink, and GDP shrinking mean those countries like African economies, they may fall back into the poverty, or there would be problems related to the economic issues. And now you can link economic issues with the social issues. So we can connect so many dots in this overall context. Next, war, for example. Okay, if there are wars, they also affect the global supply chain. Technology disruption. Technology disruption, as I mentioned earlier, like now we are entering a new era of AI. We are entering a new era of competition. So the next competition is now AI, competitive advantage, and the competition is now who will win the AI race, whether that will be the American companies, Chinese companies, Japanese companies, European companies. This is a new race now. Next, climate change. As I discussed earlier, climate change is impacting the performance all across the globe. For example, one more example I can give you, like Mauritius, for example. The tourism industry in Mauritius heavily depends upon tourism. So because of the climate change, the temperatures are changing. You might have already seen in Mauritius, the rainfall patterns has changed, and there's a more hot weather in Mauritius that is impacting the precipitation, that is impacting there's a more moisture, humidity. Okay, and humidity mean it is not good for crops. So tourism, you talk about like agriculture, these are the industries that are directly impacted by the climate change. In some parts of the world, there are droughts. In some parts of the world, there are floods. So these are all impacting on performance. All impacting on performance. Sea levels are rising. You think of Maldives, for example. Maldives' only main industry is tourism. So imagine if sea levels are rising, those islands that Maldives have will start sinking. And sinking means the risk to the whole industry, whole economy, whole country. Okay. Next, customers. Customers are not the same as they were 10, 20 years back. Customers are not same. We are dealing with new customer. Those customers are on TikTok. Those customers are on social media. Those customers have more information, although that information may be disinformation, okay, or that information may be fake information or fake news, but anyway, customers are there. They have more information. So how this is impacting performance of the organization, that's a very interesting case. Imagine customers say that we are not going to buy products from those companies that are violating human rights. Our customers are asking companies to be more transparent about their products, about their supply chains. Okay, so if a company is found violating nature or the climate or the social capital or the local communities, people start boycotting. And boycott, how powerful are the boycotts? Do you know about that? The power of boycotts, the power of the social media is impacting people, like societies, even it is impacting the whole societies. Okay. Then compliance issues, the more and more regulation, compliance issues are emerging. For example, the regulation about the cyber security, about the data protection, the regulation about the protection of users, the regulation about the protection of customers, their data. So for example, in European Union, you might have seen how the regulations are advancing, regulations are evolving, and these are impacting because companies have to comply with that. Imagine, for example, if you are a steel manufacturer and you are exporting to your steel products to Europe, so there is a border tax, okay, in order to, because the European steel manufacturers, they are required to have a quota for the emissions. You know, steel industry is a notoriously polluting industry because it consumes a massive amount of energy, and it, as a result, it has massive emissions. So European steel manufacturers, they are subject to their quota for emissions. So in order to keep a balance for local and importing steel products, now any company that is exporting steel from China, from India, from anywhere across the globe to European Union, they are required to follow the same law. Okay, and the same is changing faces of risk. So as I discussed so many things with you, this is all about the changing nature of the risk, changing nature of, because these are all emerging risks for the companies. Same competition is changing now. There are new dynamics of the competition. And then there's a human capital. Human capital, previously we were talking about human resource, but now we call this human capital. The reason? Because companies and businesses need more niche skills. They need more unique knowledge. Okay, so in order to make sure that we have that unique knowledge, they need to retain their people, retain their staff, retain their employees. So this is a new challenge for companies and business. And then one more factor about the ethical issues. Ethics has become a mainstream thing. Stakeholders, broader stakeholders, CSR issues. So interestingly, I hope you have got idea how things are changing around the globe, and the industry, businesses, economies, there is massive shift. So let me sum up all this. There is a new era for performance management has begun, okay? Because every business now has to look at, has to measure the impact of different factors on its performance, whether that performance is financial performance or whether that is a non-financial performance. Financial performance means you can think of the impact of few of these factors on revenue, on market share, on its cash flows, on its cost. So these are the financial impact on performance. Okay, so you imagine this could be cash flows. For example, if a company loses its customers, okay, so loss of business, loss of markets, okay, this will directly impact its revenues. This will cut its profits. If there are inflation or other problems, this will result in rising cost and lots of other factors. So imagine if a company is more vulnerable to market shifts, that means investors will also start quitting that business. Okay, not this is you have to look at a broader side, not just on the financial means, revenue and profit and cost, but you also have to look from the investors side. You have to look from the finance side. For example, if a business need funding for its new projects, so where it will go, either it will go for equity or it will go for debt. So both can be costly if a business is not sustainable. Okay, if a business if a business is violating human rights, let's say, for example, okay, violating human rights, let's say, very interesting case. So what will happen? Every investor will stay away from that business. You might have read in the news, you might have seen in the newspapers. Okay, so the finance industry, banks, and other investors will stay away from those type of businesses. That's why one of the reason that why companies are pursuing and pushing so much for their like environmental, social. You have heard about ESG, the rise of ESG, like environmental, social, and governance issues. So there is a new era for ESG performance. If you are interested in pursuing your career in ESG side, that is an amazing like field, I can tell you. Okay, so I hope this is you have understood a little bit. With just few minutes of discussion, you have got a broader understanding of that how the performance management field is changing and the role of the accountant is also changing. We are no more traditional accountants that were just capturing data, but our role has dramatically changed. We are living in an era of enterprise resource planning systems. We are living in an era of new competition, new customers. So the role of accountant has also changed. The role of accounting has changed. Now you are required to capture, even now information systems are capturing all that data, but now your role is more for analysis. Okay, you have to analyze and you have to look at insights, whether those are financial insights or non-financial insights, and how you help your top management in their planning, in their controlling, and in their decision making, how accountants are using that data. So this is interestingly new role of accountant is there. Capture new information, have new type of analysis, new type of insights, and use those to support the board of directors. Let's say, for example, the board of directors, to help them, the senior management, executive management, to help them in planning and decision making and controlling the performance of the organization. Okay, that is if I keep speaking, it may take hours and hours and hours, because as I told you, I love this paper. I live this paper. I love this subject. Okay, and you will see my passion. But I always expect my students that they will respond. I always expect my students that they ask questions, they involve in and participate in discussion, because my teaching style is more participative. I am not the type of lecturer who would just believe in the one way of communication. That I find boring, to be frank. Okay, I always expect from my students to participate, to discuss, to engage, to ask questions, okay, and be part of the discussion. So this is more engaging way to learn, instead of just listening and listening, and because that will be boring. That would be boring. So you more you engage, you more you participate, the more you ask questions, that will be more motivating for me. Literally, that will make me feel more happy and pleasure. Okay, I will be more motivated to discuss more in-depth understanding with you. But it is from your side how much you take part in the lecture, that I always encourage my students. Okay, all right. So far, is there any question from your side? Any point, any question would you like to ask? Have you got some picture of this changing field of performance management? Have you got? Have you got some idea about the changing field of performance management? Okay, all right, so let's move on. Aim of this paper: to apply relevant knowledge, skills, and exercise professional judgment in selecting and applying strategic management accounting techniques in different business contexts, and to contribute to the evaluation of performance of an organization and its strategic and operational development. So this is the overall aim of this paper. If we look at its relational diagram, that's very interesting. Relational diagram of APM is that it takes few ideas, some base knowledge from performance management. If you have studied performance management, definitely it will help you in understanding and grasping the various topics. But it has more deeper link with SBL. Yes, interestingly, the advanced performance management has more deeper link with SPL paper. What is SPL? If you already have studied SPL, then it will be definitely very helpful. If you are studying now SPL, still you will enjoy this paper, because there are a lot of common grounds between SPL and advanced performance management. There are many theories and models that you will be studying in the both papers, but the point is that their application is different. The application of those models is different in the both papers. For example, a very interesting, I give you example of Porter Five Forces model. Porter Five Forces model is a model for, let's say, competition analysis. This will help you to analyze the competitive landscape, the competition, and how the competition is changing, and how the competition would impact strategy of the organization. But when it comes to advanced performance management, the scope of this model is changed. Now you will look at performance. So in other words, you will analyze the competitive landscape using Five Forces model to know how this impact performance of the organization. So you will use the Five Forces, for example, the threat of new entrants or threat of substitutes or bargaining power of customers or bargaining power of suppliers or rivalry among existing firms. How these 5 forces affecting performance of the organization, or how the changes in these 5 forces, for example, there is a change in suppliers or change in the customers, or there's a new competitor is coming, or there is a new breakthrough technology has been launched that would affect performance of the organization. So you have to look from that perspective. So interestingly, there are many models and theories that both papers share, but their application is different. You will see it. Okay, all right. And now we are going to have a quick look at the syllabus of Advanced Performance Management. Advanced Performance Management syllabus is divided into 4 broad areas. There is section A. This is about strategic planning and control. Section B is about information systems. Section C is about strategic performance measurement. And section D is about performance evaluation. So there are total 4 sections of this paper. Section A, strategic planning and control. So what would you expect from this paper? What you can expect? You will learn about strategic management accounting. You will learn about performance hierarchy. Performance hierarchy means like how performance flow from top to bottom or from bottom to top of the organization. You will learn about performance management and control of the organization. You will learn about changes in business structure and management accounting. And you will learn about ESG, environmental, social, and governance factors, and how these factors are impacting performance of the organization. So this is about section A. Section B. Section B is about performance management information system, technology, and technology development. So this is a like lengthiest section of the performance management syllabus, all the theory, but very interesting. So you can expect from this area like performance management information system, you will learn here about the different types of performance management and measurement systems. You will learn here about sources of management information, like how to collect different type of information that you will need for planning, for control, or for decision making. Next, you will learn about recording and processing systems and technologies. Recording and processing systems and technologies, like how to capture data, how to analyze data, how to process data, what type of technologies, what type of systems are available. You will learn about data analytics, the different types of analytics tools and different types of analytics that the business managers use. And then you will learn about management reporting, like how to report effectively, what is the best performance management and measurement report. After this, you will learn about section C. Section C is about the, this is the one of the challenging section, because here you will have the more complex topics here in this area. Complex topics where mostly students struggle in this area. So here you will learn about strategic performance measures in private sector. For example, you will learn about financial performance measures, for example, profitability measures, revenue measures, or cash flow based measures, or debt liquidity measures. Next, divisional performance and transfer pricing. This is the area where majority or many students struggle. The reason, because these are the topics technical, divisional performance and transfer pricing, and normally questions are tested from this area, divisional performance and transfer pricing. Strategic, next topic is strategic performance measures in not-for-profit organizations. So here you will learn about how to measure performance in not-for-profit sector, for example, like governmental organization, for example, a hospital, non-profit hospital, for example. So how to measure performance of that hospital, or a school, for example, or a university, for example, or a local council, for example. So how to measure performance of these organizations. You will learn about non-financial performance indicators after this. Not just financial, but non-financial. For example, customer motivation, customer happiness, customer satisfaction, or you talk about like employees' morale, quality, process efficiency, productivity, innovation, competitiveness. So all these are non-financial that you will learn here. Next, you will learn about the quality management and the quality issues that normally organizations face. So how to manage quality. Then you will learn about human resource management issues and its impact on performance. So here you will learn about behavioral aspects of performance. Very interesting how people behave to the like different performance issues, how people behave when there is a change initiative, let's say business process re-engineering program is being introduced. So how people would react, and then how to persuade, how would they react? And how to convince the change program. Okay. And the last part is about performance evaluation. Here you will be learning about different models of performance evaluation. These are alternative views. For example, you will learn about the balance scorecard here. You will learn about building block model. You will learn about performance pyramid. You will learn about the value-based management. You will learn about activity-based management. So these are the 5 areas that you will be learning. And interestingly, one question is tested from this section. One compulsory question in Advanced Performance Management section B is tested from this section D. In the second part, you will learn about performance measurement issues in complex business structures. What are complex business structures? For example, joint ventures, for example, partnerships. So what type of challenges, what type of problems normally organizations face in this area? So normally one question, compulsory, is tested from section D of the syllabus. So by having a good understanding of all these topics, you can make sure that 25 marks of question is ready. Okay, and then the new addition to Advanced Performance Management, as you may have already heard, that after SBL, where 5 professional skills were introduced, now the same skills have been applied to all strategic professional level papers. So at APM now, you have 20 marks for professional skills, 20 marks. Previously, there were just 4 marks in section A of 50 marks question, but now there are 20 marks. Means 20 marks for professional skills and 80 marks for technical knowledge. So these 20 marks of professional skills are divided into communication skill, analysis and evaluation skill, skepticism skill, and commercial acumen skill. So you will be tested with all these skills in APM. paper. Okay, and the fifth section is about the computer literacy or digital literacy. It's about digital literacy means you should be able to use computers and you should be able to use software. That's why now you are encouraged to do your all practice, your preparation plus practice should be using Microsoft Word processor, Word and spreadsheet. And we will be doing our practice questions in these Word and spreadsheets. Okay, so you are highly, this is the best way to prepare. Whatever our practice will be, we will be using this one. So you are highly recommended to have your laptops or your desktops when you are taking the class, because all the practice will be done through either Word processor or spreadsheet. Okay, all right. So after these 4-5 skills, let's have a quick look at exam, advanced performance management exam, and the structure of the paper. The syllabus is assessed by 3 hours, 15 minutes computer-based exam. Okay, so section A. Section A will be of 50 marks, case study based on our question in a particular business context. The 50 marks will comprise 40 technical marks and 10 professional skills marks. 40 technical marks, 40 plus 10. So this will be the combination of marks. It will include organization mission statement, strategic objectives, and candidates will be expected to be able to assess, evaluate the methods by which organization is controlling, managing, and measuring performance in order to achieve its objectives. So this is the normal requirement in question 1, section A. Including an evaluation of organization performance report. This is a typical requirement in almost, you can expect in every APM paper. Almost of sometime 12, sometime 14, sometime 18 marks. Typical in every paper. So by having a good preparation, by having sufficient preparation, you can make sure that you have well prepared for this question number 1. Okay, that's why I always mention that advanced performance management is not tough, but it is technical. It is not tough, but technical. So technical means you need to understand the theme of this paper. This is not tough. I am repeating, but it is technical. So to pass so that you should be very clear from the day 1, but technical. You need to develop that skill. You need to understand the theme of this paper. Okay, and then prepare accordingly. Prepare accordingly by understanding the theme, that what this paper is actually. Unfortunately, majority of students, those who fail, they fail to prepare well. Okay. Those who fail, they fail to prepare well. They don't understand the theme of this paper. So you, from the day one, you have that opportunity, you have the time, you have the chance, because you know you are going to take this paper, and you know that you are going to write this paper in June 2024. So when you are clear about this timeline, okay, you have a very clear timeline. So why not have a disciplined approach to prepare it? Discipline approach. What is discipline approach? You need at least 12 to 16 hours of study every week. Now this is, you have to decide how will you achieve this target study. How will you work on this? You will be working, for example, 1 hour every day for 5 days. And then in the Saturday and Sunday weekend, how many hours you will allocate. So this is up to you. But the point is that every day you need to connect with this paper. You need to connect with this paper. Okay? Imagine if you don't, you will start delaying. You will start delaying. You may lose the track. This is day one and you have the time. But when you will not pay attention, I'm frankly discussing all these points with you. In case of failure, to keep preparation on track, you may lose focus and may lose interest as well. The reason? Because there will be more burden added, more stress, more pressure. So why should we delay preparation when we are clear that yes, I'm going to take it in June 24? So why to delay? We may spend 3-4 hours on social media. If you have calculated, have you any, do you monitor your screen time? How much time we normally spend on the social media and here and there with our phones? So, and that is all aimless. That we know that we are not going to have anything out of that social media time. But on the other side, we have a target. We have to pass this paper in 2024 June. So this should be on top priority. That if I have 1 hour of time, first of all, by the way, time passes very quickly and very quickly. So we need to plan our time. That is very, very important. I'm sure you all know about that, the importance of planning. So planning time is extremely important. And when you know that you are going to take advanced performance management or any other paper in June, So it should be on your priority list. Urgency and importance. So you have to plan, okay, I'm going to go through notes today. How many topics are going? So this one, I can help you. I can help you in designing a study plan. If you will, you can contact me on the our WhatsApp group, and where I will help you to design a study plan. Means you have to make sure that you complete your all syllabus before May. Means 30th April, you should finish your all syllabus twice with some practice. And in May, because syllabus is already completed, so in May, you can start only working on practice because your technical side is done. Now you have to focus and get strength on application side. So in 1 month of practice will definitely help you prepare very well for your paper. Okay, all right. So let's have a quick look at section B question. Yeah, in section A, if we look at what type of topics are tested in section A, 50 marks question. Management accountants are required to look across a range of issues. Yes, this is called integrated approach. Range of issues. Like I discussed lots of factors that are affecting the performance of modern organizations. So the same way, question 1, section A can be tested on similar way as well. A range of issues. Range of issues mean there can be problem that organization is having low quality issues. The organization can have information system problem. The organization might have leadership issues, although leadership is not tested at APM, by the way. Leadership is not tested. Yes, but behavioral issues are tested. Budgeting problem, process efficiency problem, productivity problem, quality problem, innovation problem, competitiveness problem. There would be so many issues that organization is facing, a range of issues, and you will be required to respond to those. And the question can be set around section A, section B, section C. Okay. In section B of the syllabus, candidates will be required to answer a further 25 marks question in section B of the exam, which will normally comprise of scenario-based question. The 25 marks will comprise of technical marks and 5 professional skills marks. Yes, there will be 2 questions of 25 marks each, and out of the 25 marks, 20 marks for the technical marks or technical knowledge, and 5 marks for professional skills. And what skills you will be tested in those 5 marks? Each question will examine a minimum of 2 professional skills from analysis and evaluation, skepticism, and commercial acumen. Yes, you will be tested with either of the 2 skills, whether analysis and evaluation or skepticism and commercial acumen, either of the 2. One of the questions, section B question, will come mainly from syllabus section D, as I mentioned earlier, syllabus section D. And what is syllabus section D? In syllabus section D, there are balanced scorecard, building block model, performance pyramid, activity-based management, value-based management, and 6th topic is performance management in complex structures. So there are almost 6 topics. And by preparing those 6 topics, you can make sure that your 25 marks question of section B of the paper is ready. By the way, there's no choice in APM. All questions are compulsory. But anyway, just I am making it clear for you that how you need to approach, how you need to think, how you need to visualize your APM, how to visualize. Okay, section B, questions will require candidates to address a range of issues influencing performance of organization in specific business situations. Okay, so this is total marks will be 100 and pass marks, 50. How will APM-CB exam look like? This is another part, another discussion that you need to know, that how computer-based exams of APM will look like. So there is one screenshot. You can see this screenshot that on the left-hand side, you will have the exhibits. On the top, there's a traditional screen, items like symbols, highlight, color, swipe through, calculator, etc., scratchpad. So these will exhibit just like as SPL paper. If you have already passed SPL, then you know better. This is on the style of the SBL, that all the information are now given in exhibits, and then there are requirements. Under requirements, you will have response option, whether the word processor or spreadsheet. So as I mentioned earlier, that our all practice will be done through now word processor and spreadsheet. So I highly recommend whatever you practice, whatever you type, start practicing on your laptop or your desktop. Instead of using pen, use your laptop in typing to more confidence, more agility, and more practice. Because time management is still a big problem for APM. Time management a problem for APM. So this only possible, only ways practice, practice, practice. So you need to plan now how you are going to practice. Practice. Okay, now let's have a look at how APM questions requirements are asked. Requirements are set. If you look at this, requirements 50 marks. It is now 1st September 20x5. Write a report to the CEO of Department for Internal Affairs to respond to his instructions for work on the following areas. So if you look at this, it mentioned that critical success factors and key performance indicators for deal and police. Second requirement is an evaluation of the value for money service provided. And 3 is use of league tables in measuring performance of deal and. Let me tell you one interesting thing, that these are not complete requirements. These are not complete requirements that you have to work on. So you might be thinking, where is the complete requirement? Complete requirement will be within the exhibits. Complete requirement will be here within the exhibits. So in order to fully understand what you are going to do, you will be required to go through these exhibits very carefully and highlight all the detailed and complete requirement for each question, because here you are not given complete requirements of the question. Anyway, this is not very difficult. It's a very easy. After solving 2 or 3 questions in practice, definitely you will be able to understand that how to highlight or how to understand the complete requirement of the question, and then your answer will reflect that. Of course, if you will not completely comprehend question requirements, how will you be able to write answer? Your answer would not be complete unless you have not completely understood the question requirements. So this will lead to losing marks. Understand? So that's very important that you need to, you have clear understanding of what is the question requirement. Okay, section B. Section B of the syllabus syllabus where question number 2 and okay, sorry. So you can hear me clearly? Can you hear me clearly, my dear?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So the section B questions requirements also follow same model. Okay, where complete requirement of questions or tasks are within the exhibits. An interesting thing about APM is that here exhibits are not as long as we see in SBL. In APM, these exhibits sometimes maybe few lines, sometimes maybe 2 paragraphs. These are not very long. In short, I can tell you that it will be very easy to quickly read all the exhibits in APM and go to the question and start working on answer. Questions are not very long in APM normally. Sometimes you can say like maybe once in 10 questions. There can be some question lengthy, but normally questions are short. And by the way, APM also does not require you to write long answers. You need to be focused. You need to be concise when you are writing answers. Okay. All right. So this is the 3 of 3. This is the question 3 of 3. This was the question 2 of 3. And this was the question 1 of 3. Okay, all right. So 3 of 3 is almost same. Okay, as I mentioned that there will be one question from section D of the syllabus. So you can see here, this question is from VBM, value-based management. Value-based management. Okay, the same pattern of the question, the same pattern of the requirements as well. I hope you have got some idea about how APM questions are set and how they look like. If you want more understanding, I would suggest you go into the practice platform, and you can have a view of the latest APM paper and open few papers and have a look at. You can open the latest paper, or you can open any mock exam or specimen. You can open the APM specimen exam and have a look into how these questions look like. This will give you more broader idea. Okay, all right. So understanding APM CB exam technique. Good exam technique alongside good technical knowledge is key to exam success. Of course, that is a simple thing, but what is good exam technique in advanced performance management? How do you improve these skills? And what about professional skills marks? Exam technique covers many areas, including, we're talking about exam technique, okay? Including understanding structure of exam. Structure of exam means structure of questions and the way in which questions are asked. I have been explaining all this earlier about structure of exam and how questions are asked. Questions 1, for example, requires you to use question scenario to gain a complete picture of the task that you have been set, and therefore maximize your opportunity to score marks. Okay, complete picture of task that you have been set. That is very important. And one more thing that you need to understand, that APM question 1 is normally an integrated case. Although there will be different tasks would be tested. For example, task 1, 2, 3, 4, there would be 4 different tasks tested. But when you are making your points, when you are making your arguments, when you are telling story, okay, you can link different dots. That I will train you. I will teach you that how you have to link the dots and how you have to connect the points. Okay, let's have a quick look at summary of changes to the APM syllabus applicable as from September 2022. There has been few changes to syllabus from September, and after that, there's no change yet. So from this APM syllabus, basically I'm mentioning all this. If you have studied or taken APM before September 2022, then you need to know that there has been few changes introduced. For example, in section B, impact of risk and uncertainty on organization performance. This has been restructured. Section 3, E3, predicting and preventing corporate failure. This has been removed. So these 2 sections have been removed from the syllabus. Section B, impact of risk and uncertainty on organizational performance. This has been removed. Basically, previously there were topics such as maximax, min-max, max-min, expected values. These type of topics were part of APM syllabus. But from September 2022, these topics have been removed. Another area that was removed was section E, predicting and preventing corporate failure. Previously, there were corporate failure prediction models were part of the syllabus, but now they are removed. So these are the major overhaul of APM syllabus. Then there were few small topics were added that reflect latest business and industry developments. For example, data analytics has been expanded with following additions. Yes, this topic was added. Data analytics expanded. So these topics were added. For example, data silos was added. Data silos, different method of data analytics. For example, descriptive, diagnostic, predictive. These were added. Then the section B4D, B1C, B4C, B4D, use of alternative methods of data analytics. Alternative methods of data analytics. For example, like text, image, video, voice analytics, and sentiment analytics were also added. You might be thinking, oh, how this can be linked to accounting. Very interesting. How we can use this? Very simple. Now, do you know that when you are watching a video on social media, the next video will be related to the one you are watching now, because the algorithms have understood that you are interested in this type of content. Okay, how algorithms will understand? Because of the algorithms have gone through the whole video. That is the point. Algorithms have captured every image, every content, every voice from the video. That's why if you have noticed that if you are listening to a song, your next song recommendation will be similar to that one. The reason, because the algorithms have identified that you are interested in this type of content. So the same, this is performance, by the way. This is related to performance, making better recommendations. Better recommendations. So this is purely thing of performance. So now, with the help of AI, we have AI, and with the help of the AI, we are doing a lot of things, okay? With text images, with text, with images, content, with video content, with the voice analytics, and with even sentiment analytics. What is sentiment analytics? I can tell you one more example of sentiment analytics. Do you know that you can now use your YouTube comments into data? Your YouTube or your Insta comments. There are many apps, there are many softwares that can turn these comments into, this is a data. This is data. So this data can be converted into useful insights. What people are talking about. Even if there are 10,000 comments, 10,000 comments, within just a matter of few seconds, your software can analyze all those 10,000 comments and convert it into useful insights, what people are talking about. Okay, we are in living era of 2024 AI. So that's why machines learning, and when we talk about algorithms, and then now the AI, the next stages of AI, where AI will be taking decisions, AI will be thinking, AI will be decisions. So all this is because of the data. Data is being used to train algorithms, basically. Okay, so these are the topics. Another very interesting topic that is a part of new advanced performance management is ethical issues related to information collection and processing. Okay, for example, use of black box algorithms. Black box algorithms are, you read about it, okay, and you will be amazed what they can do. And large scale data collection and mining. Large scale data, for example, web scraping, for example, or these type of large scale data, like you have designed a software that can scan thousands of websites and produce a report for you. That can scan, like for example, a program, a code, an algorithm designed to scan, let's say, 1 million websites, for example. Okay, websites. So it can do. And if you talk about ChatGPT, ChatGPT is just beginning. You will see a new flood. Even we are now seeing the Mid-Journey and all these type of softwares, what they are doing basically now. Okay, so here is the, we are living in new issues of ethics. Basically, we have entered into a new area of new era of ethics and human rights, especially privacy. Okay, all right. So these are the all emerging topics, by the way, and these have impact on performance. These all have impact on performance. For example, if a company is found violating data privacy, imagine what would happen: fines, penalties, reputation damage. Just imagine Facebook, for example. You may have heard about how Facebook provided data to the Cambridge Analytica. You might have heard about that scandal of the Facebook. Okay, and as a result, what happened? Cambridge Analytica closed completely. So here the risks are bigger even. Risks are bigger. You can think of Cambridge Analytica case, and you will be amazed. So where businesses can be shut down, businesses can be closed completely. That is a going concern loss, going concern issues. But this is just beginning. Okay, I hope you have got the broader perspective of APM. Okay, and I already have discussed the new paper pattern and paper changes of advanced performance management. From September 2022, there are 20 professional skills marks in both sections A and B, 10 marks in section A and 10 marks in section B. You have the resources available. There are on practice platform, there are multiple resources available for you. Okay, we will be doing our most of the practice from the practice platform, by the way. How I will add value? I will provide you like all the study text, knowledge book. You will have summary notes. You will have some questions as well according to the latest pattern of the APM. You will have my continuous support on WhatsApp anytime, any problem. If you get, you are always welcome. Connect, communicate, ask question. I will be helping you on how to understand questions, how to understand question requirements, how to develop your answer, how to approach your answer. That is a very, very important thing where I will be helping you. Okay, how to analyze information, how to use those information to develop your answers. So all this will be part of our practice. What mistakes normally APM students make and time management skill we will be working on. As I mentioned, that is one of the very important thing that you need to learn, and you have the time. You have time now. But at the end of May, you will not have the time. You have time now. That's why I am emphasizing again, and again, be on top of the game. You, from today, you need to have a study schedule and then stick to it. Every week, you should have a feedback review. Every week, at the end of each week, have a review of your preparation. what you have learned this week. You have learned or you have wasted, means you have missed your targets. What milestones you have achieved. Have you achieved? As I mentioned earlier, I will help you design your study schedule. If you would like, we can discuss how many hours you have available, and then we can design accordingly. Okay, all right. So I have discussed this already with you. Skills required to pass APM exam: read material, think, understand in depth, and relate to particular situations. Yes, when you are studying, applying one topic, you should think of how this topic can be applied in various situations. This is called visualize. Visualize a topic. Okay, practice past exam question dealing with these areas, real life examples. That's very important. You need to have the broad understanding. Broad understanding of performance issues of organizations. This will help you to, although at APM, this is not much required, at SPL, it is a more required because SPL has a different theme and different focus and different requirements. But still at APM, you are required to have broader understanding about, for example, global economy and the macroeconomic trends and how these trends are affecting performance of the organizations. Practicing past paper questions under time condition, very, very important. Time management, time management, time management. Not only the understanding and learning, but also application is equally important. Okay, and read the examiner reports. That is highly recommended for you. Highly recommended. Read examiner reports. You will have idea that what mistakes previous students have been making, and those mistakes you have to avoid. Tips for effective learning, productive study. Like, you need to be creative. Okay, if you have a study space, very simple, where you need to avoid all the distractors and have all the essential, like now, not needed for, I would not recommend using pencils and notebooks, because now you have to use your all note inside your laptop. Okay, use your laptop or desktop for writing notes, because the more practice you will have in typing, the more confidence you will have. And other like snacks, water when you are studying, that's important. Okay, few dates to remember. Start date, we are starting on today, so that is the 7th Jan. Our syllabus will end, last finish date is Sunday, 5th May 2024. Number of classes total are 18, plus there will be 4 extra classes. So you can expect at least 22 classes. I will share the timetable for those extra classes with you in our coming classes. This time, I have introduced 3 tests. I know this is critical for your success. 3 tests, very, very important. And from day one, I'm emphasizing on its importance. So you should be clear and you should know the importance, because if you will not take it seriously, you may skip these tests. And skipping these tests, there is a price for it. There is a price, because these tests are part of your preparation. You will have the opportunity to know your preparation. Okay, first test will be in second week of March after almost 10 classes. After 10 classes. Second test will be the first week of April after 14 classes. And third test will be in the first week of May after 18 classes. Why this is, it should be in your now. You need to mark it. Mark these tests in your calendar. Okay, mark in your calendar. So you know that you have the test coming, and you should know that I have test 5 weeks or 4 weeks coming, and I have to start preparing for it. You will have feedbacks. Why these tests are important? You will have the feedback on your performance and update on where you stand and what need to be done. Your strengths, your weaknesses will be clearly discussed in those tests. So very important. And the last thing, that duration of the class is in the beginning, we can have 2.5 hours just for 3 or 4 weeks. Just for January, we can have 2.5 hours of class. But after January, as we will start practice, we will have 3 hours, and then we can extend to 3.5 hours. Means from maybe Feb, we can start at 15, or maybe 14:30 if you would like. If you will agree, we can start earlier so we can have more time. What do you think? In Feb or in March, if we a little bit increase time and little bit bring it back to like starting almost 14:30 or 15, would it be fine? So we can have more time for practice.
Yes.
Would it be fine for everyone?
Yes.
Suggestion. Okay, all right, thank you. Perfect. So definitely, I will update you about this. We can have like in probably from March, we can start. Because in Feb, I will have the crash courses for March exams. So from March, we will have more time, and we can give more time for the practice. But it will all definitely, I will update you first, and then after receiving your responses, we can adjust the time. Okay, all right, so this is all from our today class. I have already uploaded these slides in the Hamzah Academy portal, where you can have a look at these introductory class slides. Plus, I also have uploaded this volume 1 notes as well that you can download. I have uploaded this one. So the APM study, this is a very comprehensive. I have tried my best. I always update my notes, always update and keep improving and improving. So you will have multiple things in these notes. For example, this volume 1 covers section A and section B, 4 chapters I have divided. And one thing that I want to show you about these notes is this one. That at the end of each topic, I have integrated past papers from the past paper, like how this topic was examined in the past. So you can have idea that how this topic was examined. For example, part 1 required an explanation of how to achieve the cascade down of overall objectives through critical success factors to KPIs at the waste management department. So you can have idea about how was this topic tested in the past and how you need to prepare. So this will change your perspective, okay, of how to prepare. How to prepare for the AP. Definitely this will help you a lot. Okay, my dear, that's all from our today class. I hope this introductory class would help you understand what APM is and how, like, you have made accurate, good decision for choosing advanced performance management, because this is the era for performance management. And I hope you have been able to understand overall APM syllabus, APM paper, APM exam, APM style, APM approach, and my style of teaching as well, where I always encourage my students to participate and feel free to ask questions anytime. This is my pleasure when my students ask questions. Okay, so that's all from our today class. I hope you find this class interesting, and I hope you found it like more engaging. And now I'm looking forward to see you on next Sunday for our more exciting discussions, where we will be starting from this chapter 1, strategic planning and control, and we hopefully finish this almost whole chapter might be finished in the next class, or maximum topics we will, because mostly theory we will try to cover quickly so we can have more time for practice questions. Okay, that's all. Thank you very much. Stay blessed, and very warm evening, very beautiful evening, and some students might have already night. So good night, and now looking forward to see you on next Sunday. Bye. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.